Absolutely. Our mission at OakNorth is to serve the missing middle. And what is the missing middle? The missing middle in our world is companies that generate between 1 to 100 million in revenue. And what we're seeing in the industry is that those companies are not particularly well served by the traditional banks that focus on the corporate sector, but also neobanks who typically focus on the retail sector and small businesses. And so our mission has been to support those companies on their growth journey and become the de facto lender for those companies.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so there are obviously different types of customers that we have come across, right? So I think digital lending has a space and has a place within the lending ecosystem. But what we probably index a lot more on is the ongoing relationship with the customers. So it's quite a well-known fact, but about 80% of our customers come through referrals. And so the personal relationship is incredibly important, especially when you look into large amounts of lending or large ticket sizes in the tens of millions of pounds. But in terms of digital, there's sort of different types of experiences depending on the types of loans that we do or the sizes of loans that we do. So if you're looking at lower end of the market, digital works really well because customers want a very quick ways of getting financing, and they prefer that digital experience. When you get into more complex lending, customers want to have that relationship with their lender. They want to put a name to the face and understand what that lender can do to them, and that's what OakNorth does best. Take those relationships and really come up with lending structures and financing that works for those customers. As an additional thing that sort of sets OakNorth apart from other lenders is we actually bring all our customers that we lend to into a credit committee, and where they get the chance to talk about their business, the things that they require, and for us to meet the management team as well as potentially the founder who is looking for that financing. And that sort of is built into starting from origination into OakNorth, that relationship, but also at the very end when we make a final decision whether we are able to support that business or not. Absolutely. So I think what we've seen in lending traditionally is that you take a sector, hospitality and leisure, for example, all types of customers are treated the same way. But really, if we dig down into that sector, we know that there are many different subsectors underneath that may behave very differently in different economic environments. So be that bars, restaurants, golf clubs, or private members clubs, or etc. And what we do at OakNorth is build a very granular view of those sectors, so we can do two things. We can do risk assessment much quicker on those sectors, so we have a much better understanding of what's happening within the sectors. But also we're able to work with customers because we understand the sectors to come up with terms that work for that customer, that follows the patterns in those sectors. And an additional thing that we do at OakNorth is we don't just look at the historical performance of a company and historical performance in the sector, but we also have forward look. So we have a forward-looking view on each sector and each company that we work with that provides us additional assurance that the company is going to perform well in the different environments and stress tests. And so that is built into the ethos of OakNorth in terms of how we lend, but also how do we treat customers and how can we add that bespokeness to the customer needs that they require. Yeah, so I think there's a lot of trends for us that we keep an eye on. Obviously, one of the things that we look at is how do we deepen that relationship with our customers? And so what else we could do in terms of what other lending products we could offer to the market that would have product market fit, but also would solve the customer need, but also what other things we could do as a bank. So that's something top of mind. In terms of how we could also serve customers better, what sort of loans or what sort of customers would prefer digital channels versus a relationship management approach. So we're looking at various different axes of how we could serve our customers better in the UK.